So those are like really kind of clangy, loud, blood boiling in a positive way music. So you wouldn't use that. But there are other pieces in there that are very calm, very soothing, very low key, and those are the ones that you would use.
Oh, well, so very interesting. But we got to go to break, and I guarantee there is no classical music in the break. So, we come back, more headlines brought to you by the Criminal Code. Don't go anywhere. Be right back right after this.
Up, let the rumors spread. Don't you try to catch my blind.
This is Jen McGowan, founder of Wayward Souls Promotions, a company dedicated to helping individuals, teams, radio shows, and others that are seeking exposure for their individual events, conventions, and shows. We offer a wide variety of advertising, such as web-based article, social media posts, podcast advertisement, and so on. Contact us at paranormalpromotion@gmail.com, visit us on Facebook at Wayward Souls Promotions, and visit our website at www.waywardsoulspromotions.com.
Anavar Media LCC is a dedicated team of professionals committed to helping business development scale and protect their websites, mobile applications, enterprise software solutions in the Northeast Ohio area. Locally owned since 2012, our client-centered values truly sets Anavar apart. Contact us today to learn how you can get 25% off your first project. Call them at 234-380-4852. Again, that's 234-380-4852, or visit them at www.anavar.com. Again, that's www.anavar.com. Hey everybody, this is Joel Sturgis, and did you know that After Hours AM and America's Most Haunted have a great new website out there? You're going to want to visit America's-Most-Haunted.com. There you can get all the new content from all the writers for America's Most Haunted, as well as the great haunted headlines everybody loves each and every week, as well as catch After Hours AM live right there, along with podcasts, past shows, and get to know your hosts, as well as contact us all in one stop. You're going to love it. You're not going to want to go anywhere else. So come to America's-Most-Haunted.com today.
What's happening, hot stuff?
And welcome back to After Hours AM, the Criminal Code. And this next half an hour of true crime headlines is brought to you again by the Criminal Code. And of course, for all your true crime needs, stop on over to thecriminalcode.com. It is now 10% duct tape free, so you don't have to worry about that. No one will kidnap you there.
And with us this evening are me, Eric Olson.
That's right.
And
Dr. Clarissa Cole.
There we go. And I am, of course, Joel Sturgis. And we are happy to... I'm just kidding. I was trying to soothe everyone into there, like the Mozart we were talking about. See if that actually worked if I came in with a very nice, soft, monotone voice. You're getting very sleepy out there. No, you're not. Okay. No, let's move on. Wow.
I feel like I'm on NPR or something. That was very...
you are.
I love NPR. But
Yeah. Yes, I love NPR. Getting back to what people want to hear, true crime headlines. Let's hit her again. Where are we going next, Clarissa?
Well, this story is it's really disturbing. Let's put it that way. We're going back to Chicago just for a brief moment, because I want to put this out there in case people are not aware of what, I used to live in Chicago, so this is rough for me to even read this. There were more than 100 people shot over the 4th of July weekend.
Oh my
really?
God.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's an enormous number of people.
Wow.
Considering that most cities have a full count of maybe 100 or a couple hundred in an entire year.
It's unbelievable. How many were killed?
I don't know. There were at least 101 people shot between Friday afternoon and early today, and over half of that number were in the last 12 hours of the 4th of July.
Man, that's a lot of people.
Number.
That would explain why people jokingly call it Chirac.
Oh my goodness. I know that people have been, and I know that it's been increasing in recent years, but that is just staggering.
That's crazy amount of people. 100 killed.
100 shots.
I am surprised now in some ways now, and hear me out here before everyone goes, oh my God. I'm surprised that they have not put Chicago under martial law yet with how much violence is there. I really am.
The president was threatening it.
Yeah.
I was just really surprised that they have not actually pulled the trigger, so to speak, and made them martial law state where, this is until things get sorted out, this is the way it's going to be. Curfew, the whole bit.
And the Chicago police are releasing statements like, we have to change the underlying cultures. Yeah, I think we've gone way past that, okay? Like, that, it's just such a passive sounding statement for something that is clearly out of control.
It sounds more like a war zone stat than it does a city stat.
Agreed.
That's disturbing. That it sounds more like something you would hear involved with a war zone. 100 killed yesterday during the battle. This is more. This should not be happening in a city, a once great city. And I know a lot of people love Chicago, and Chicago is a great city. I love it myself. I love the Natural History Museum. I love places in Chicago, but that doesn't stop the violence because it's mainly happening now. And I'm going to go out there. It seems to me, unless I'm completely wrong, the African American community seems to be hardest hit by this violence in Chicago.
Yeah, it's mostly on the south and west side.
I was gonna say south side Chicago has notoriously always been. Even when I used to go there as a young guy, I used to love blues music, and I used to go see Johnny Lang there. Happened to be a friend of mine. He was from this area, and they used to call him Kid Johnny Lang. I don't know if you guys ever heard of him. But I'd go see him, and he'd go play at these clubs in south side of Chicago, like the Blues Factory and stuff like that. Wow, it was a really, really touch-and-go place to be. It was just the violence that you could hear gunshots outside while they're playing. It was really a surreal time. That's why I've never gone back to the south side of Chicago. It only takes a couple of gunshots to make you go, oh, wait a minute, maybe this is not the place I should be. And it doesn't seem like it's gotten any better. In fact, it's degraded even more in the 20 years since that time I went down there.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think that a big problem, I think, because Cabrini Green was still in existence when I lived in Chicago. And I know that once they shut down Cabrini Green, a lot of those people had no place to go. And there were, not that it was a housing project community for those that don't know. And a lot of it just had to do with the poverty, but there was a lot of violence in Cabrini and a lot of gang activity in Cabrini, and that just got dispersed, and I think a lot of it got to the south side. The south side was always bad, Joel, like you were saying, but I think with the addition to the people displaced from Cabrini, it just got worse and worse.
It did get worse. It really did, and it's really, we talked to Adam Seltzer on the show, and he loves Chicago. In fact, he's a tour guide there. And he even had to admit, being someone that's lived there lifelong, that the city has changed. And it's gotten way more violent than it ever even used to be. And it just seems like it's getting worse and worse. I don't believe that the city government can get a handle on it at this point. I think that statement of, well, we have to change the underlying problems, that's a bunch of BS. that is, you know what? That would have worked 30 years ago. But you have gotten to a tipping point in Chicago that you may not be able to get to that place again without basically martial law and getting things under control.
Oh yeah, they're at an emergency. This is crisis point. 100 people shot over a holiday weekend. I mean, that is a crisis point. This isn't like thinking of how to change the culture. Yeah, that's when things are under control. That type of statement doesn't work right now.
That's when people are arguing about parks.
It's like New York in the 80s, for God's sake.
Yeah. It's like, they're not arguing about parks here. People are getting shot. You know what I mean? It's a true violent unrest.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was looking at the headlines and I thought, well, when they said 100 people shot, I thought, I don't know why, but I thought to date, this year.
Oh, no. Let me Google that quick. We have time, right? How many people were shot in 2016 in Chicago? And, of course, it's right there in Google. I didn't even have to finish it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, how it pops up with options. Oh, you could go here and look at that. Chicago had more than 8 murders a month in 2016. Okay. Chicago crosses the 2,000 shooting victim this year. This is, of course, 2016 stat. Wow. Over 2,300 people were shot in Chicago in 2016. As of this time, this was as of July 4th of last year, 2,300 people were shot in Chicago.
I can't even. This is
101 weekend.
Yeah, man. So I mean, imagine how many now did 2017. They don't have that stat out yet, but I would imagine it's gonna be bigger.
And when you look at
now it says in
New York. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. In all of 2016, there was 2,988 people killed by gun violence in Chicago.
That seems like an enormous number.
That's bigger than my city population I'm sitting in.
And New York City last year? New York City, okay, a huge
the jungle, the concrete jungle,
first crime, 990.
Jeez. Oh, man. Well, I ain't going to Chicago on vacation, tell you that much.
I mean,
it does sound pretty out of control. And, of course, you know what you're fighting. You're fighting the city poobahs do not want to give up any level of sovereignty. So that's why they downplay. And, it's just a matter of this. We'll tweak this or we'll tweak that. Well, it sounds like it's really
we'll tweak it out there. Yeah, we'll tweak that. Yeah, no problem. But getting away from the sad, sad story of Chicago, where do you want to go next, Clarissa?
Well, this next one is actually a public service announcement. Okay.
Good.
And and it applies to your state, Joel. So
really?
It's perfect. Yeah, because if somebody is listening in your state, they will. Okay. So it's Suburban Minneapolis Police Department. All right. They have good news for a person that made a donation recently.
Really? What did they donate in there that's making a difference? Or what did they accidentally donate that maybe they shouldn't have and they're getting it back?
Yeah, exactly, right? So they donated some clothes, which is really nice, to a Once Upon a Child store.
That is nice. That's a good thing to do, paying it forward.
Exactly. But apparently, one of the clothing items also had 111 grams of marijuana in it.
Oh, holy crap. Wow. That's a lot of pot.
That's hilarious.
So somebody, let me get it straight, some mental giant here in my fair state of Minnesota decided that they were going to donate some children's clothes to Once Upon a Child. And then, of course, they accidentally donated as well 111 grams of marijuana along with the clothes. Okay, then. Now, the police, I would imagine, are trying to bring the two back together.
They are, and they put this is a great thing that they put out there on social media. They said, the police, if you accidentally donated 111 grams of marijuana along with your clothing earlier to a local store, please come into the police department so we can reunite you. We know you spent a lot of time dividing them into these perfectly measured baggies and must be missing them.
Reunited and feels so good.